Hello, my name is João Roque, and I'm an advocate for automation and connectivity for critical manufacturing. For today, I want to take a look at a very interesting feature, which is basically one-click deployment for Connect IoT. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is the MES system. Let's go here to our automation tab, protocol. Let's create a new protocol. I'm going to use MQTT for this demo, so MQTT protocol. So these are all the drivers that Connect IoT supports. So let's see if we can find our MQTT. It should be around here. Okay, MQTT. So here we can configure basically the default settings for this transport system. So let's go ahead. We can always change this in our controller. So let's go to our driver definition. I'm going to call this my MQTT driver definition. So my protocol will be my MQTT protocol. Okay, now properties. I'll add a new property. So this can be my temperature property. My topic, I'm going to say I want everything that comes from clean room. So we support wildcards. So you can see here, this is the name of the topic. This is described in the documentation what wildcards are supported. So I want to receive everything that comes from the clean room in this property. So I'm going to say this is a decimal. I'm sending this as a string, so let's put it here as a string. We support multiple quality of service, retain, and everything that comes with MQTT. For now, let's keep it simple. I'm going to give my event, my temperature event. Oh, let's call it new temperature. Why not? New temperature. And I'm going to say that my new temperature basically only has one topic, and it's going to be my temperature topic. Now, going to my automation controller, I'm going to say I have a new controller. Let's call it our temperature clean room controller. I, for one, kind of hate this connector. So let's put it as jump over and let's put it as Manhattan. Why not? So driver definitions, I'm going to use my MQTT driver definition. Let's call it, I don't know, let's call it MQTT. So I don't need anything else. I just need the core tasks. Okay, so right away, we have a setup configured. I need to put here the address of my system. So normally this is a dynamic. Right now I'm going to leave it static. Let's add now my system name. So my system name right here. And now I'm going to add a new workflow. Let's use data flow. And I'm going to say this is new temperature event page. And I'm going to here, I have a new on equipment event. So I'm going to say that I have a new temperature. And right now, let's keep it simple because this is not what I want to show. I'm preparing a new demo just to show you basically a big data for MQTT. So having a lot of sensors providing data to the MES and to our data platform. For now, let's keep it simple. And I'm just going to log just to show you that it arrives at Connect IoT. Okay, now the cool stuff. So now if we go to the automation page, as you know, the automation manager is basically the process that runs Connect IoT. So let's call it clean room manager. And in most demos, what I show is with a console application just because it's easier for me in terms of local environments. But actually, let's see how we would do this in a production setting. So notice here that we have here deployment mode. It has manual or automatic. So manual means that you can either download the automation manager and run it as a console or install it as a Windows service. So what about automatic deploy? So automatic deploy, it's much more interesting. So you can see now that we have a new range. So this is the deployment configurations. We can set up either routes to be opened in OpenShift. So for example, if you have a TCP IP server or even a SexGem on passive mode, you can configure here the TCP addresses to automatically open in your OpenShift. Here is volume, so you can map to a persistent volume that you have configured. And basically this is our image name, the image that will be deployed. So I'm using a test environment, so I have to change this here. And now we can just say deploy. So basically it will ask what user will be the manager of these deployments. For now, I'm going to use my administrator. And we can go to OpenShift and see what happens. So if you notice, basically this is my system. If I go here to the manager controller, this is the component responsible for spawning new automation managers in the cluster. So basically, this is asking the system, give me the information about the automation managers that I need to deploy, and then we'll automatically deploy them. So if I go here and search for manager, we can see here that we have a clean room manager, so it's being created. So let's give it some time to start. Okay, you can see that it's running. So in terms of logs, you won't see much by default. So by default, we send the logs disabled because the idea here is to log to either a network share and not have all the impact on the running system. So sorry. So if I go here to my configuration, you can see lots of configurations about the automation manager, but one of those is here, the console. So we want to see things in the console, we can just change this to is enabled. Okay. And now we can give it a restart. Oh, okay. My bad. I forgot to link this to the temperature room clean room controller. So right now the manager is deployed, but it's not doing anything. So now let's link it. Let's link it to an automation control. So basically it can start doing stuff. Okay, so now if I go here, I now have a clean room manager and it's trying to communicate. Okay, and you can see here, okay, right now I'm already receiving messages. So basically I have here a dummy application, just sending stuff. And you can see that it's receiving. So for example, it's receiving clean room temperature temp 3, temp 9. And you can see with one click, I already deployed basically a Connect IoT application that's receiving information from the shop floor. So for example, what about if I'm just doing an experiment and now I want to undeploy this? Or even if I just want to stop this. So if I want to stop this, I can just go here and say, okay, for this controller, stop. Okay, it says it stopped. Let's double check. Okay, yes, it indeed stopped. And now if I want to say start, okay, you can see this side was notified. It's now running, it's connecting, and now it starts receiving the messages again. Another interesting part is what if we want to kind of do the other way around? So we can start and stop the components. What if you want to undeploy? So we also have an undeploy button. Let's click it and see what happens. So undeployment, basically this. So the deploy will deploy the image to a new pod in the cluster. If I do an undeploy, the manager controller will deal with everything and terminate the pod that is running. And so basically you can have the whole management of the Connect IoT application just through the MES GUI. So if I go here, you can see already 404 not found. So basically this pod was deleted. Okay, so basically this is kind of a one-click deployment and undeployments, which I think is very interesting. It's one of the coolest features that we've done in some time. So I hope you like it.